So it's finished. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Aston Villa 1. Obviously, very different feeling to last week. I did say on the pot on here last week that I'd have taken the draw at the start of play, and I would do it at the end of this game, the way the game planned out. A few key points to go through on really quickly. It's a game I feel like we struggled to get up to speed with. We really struggled at the start to get the tempo of the passing, the play. We're very sloppy in the ball away early stage of that game. It took us a long time to try and get going in that. I think a part of it, I know some big fans of Tottenham was in here, but everything he goes everything well he's defending, which is I really rate him for that. His lack of ability on the ball killed us today. There was loads of passes that were played to him, and he's too slow for him to out Nori. All the forward passes, he hasn't got that in the locker, and I think that did slow us down quite a bit today. He seemed to have a lot of touches early on in the game in those wide areas for him. Next point, I've got Joe Gomez, and I think Joe Gomez and Lamina, again, really good defensively. But again, they struggled with their forward pass, and that key pass forward showed they haven't really got that in the locker. They struggled a little bit today. Lamina was better of the two, but I think we were lacking a little bit in the middle of the park in terms of the forward play. That's why Bellegarde was brought in for those sort of situations, and you can see why in those games. Neto, again, not as great attacking-wise to start with, and then once he got into the game and decided to go at the back line defenders, he was fantastic. As soon as he gets to that side of the defender, he's in the box. He's causing chaos at the moment. Obviously, did really well for the goal, where he just sort of ran down the outside, cut it back in. Obviously, Hwang's there to finish. Really good for him, and he grew into the game quite a bit. He's in top form at the moment, Neto. We've got to keep him fit. Traore, I thought was really good when he came off the bench. Like I said, Joe Gomez struggled a little bit. When Traore came on, really, really good. Pressed the ball really well. Won the ball up so many times at the top end of the pitch. So I was impressed by that. Sasha was quite good as well when he came off the bench. I've got down here a couple of good chances. Kuzi came on. He squared the ball across. Played a really good cross, actually, to Neto. I did think, he's played that too early, so we cut out by Martinez. But that was a fantastic chance. Neto probably should have scored from that. I did take a bobble in front of him, but again, really, really good chance for that. And then obviously played the one a little bit later on where he brought the ball down, played Neto in behind again. And he pulled it back to himself, and Kleitz probably could have scored from that. Semedo, I think he owes Lamina a point now after that game. He was really good in the game, but he cost him his red card. There's a ball over the top. Semedo's touch let him down, and then the ball broke, and then Lamina had to make the second foul and got sent off for that. So I think he owes him a point for that one. And then overall, is a game I think we could have lost right at the end. I took a point at the start of play. We could have lost that right at the end. The couple of chances they had, really big save from Sarr, and then the post right at your last play of the game. So it's a fair result, I think, for us. Again, we could have won it, we could have lost it. But then we'll see how we go now. If you'd have given me the last two games against City and Villa, and you said to me take 4 points, I'd have taken that at the start. So I'm happy with those performances. We'll see how we go on after the international break against Bournemouth away. It's a massive game, obviously no Lamina. We'll see how we go on that one, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Okay, another decent point for Wolves and another well-fought point with, again, being down to 10 men, similarly to the Luton game a couple of weeks ago, but still managing to get a point on the board, I think, is a sign of progress under Gary O'Neill now. 3 games unbeaten, scoring in every single match, and looking a lot more solid defensively. I think the switch to the back 3 with the wing-backs suits us a lot better. We look a lot more expansive. Our counter-attacking football looks a lot better and more precise. And just a better flow, I think, to the team now. We look more structurally sound, which I think was the issue with the first few games. But yeah, this wasn't the greatest watch, very cagey. I think a lot of midfield battles in there, and it was very scrappy at times, particularly in the first half. I thought Wolves for the first 15-20 minutes didn't really get any sort of rhythm. It was losing the ball, turning it over quite often, despite winning it back fairly regularly. But then after that kind of early spell, started to get the feel of the game a little bit better. We were better in possession, carving out a couple of more half chances, although nothing really to write home about. And to be honest, Villa didn't really have any chances of note. I thought the most interesting thing was the battle between Dawson and McGinn, which the referee didn't quite seem to know how to get a hold of. And McGinn had a couple of decent chances maybe to score for Villa, but overall first half wasn't particularly awe-thrilling, or awe-inspiring, I should say. But Wolves look solid at the back, and we continued that into the second half. I think what's pleased me about the last 2 performances against City and now Villa is that we've looked solid throughout the 90 minutes, and there hasn't really been a drop-off in energy levels. You have the usual flows of momentum, but I think overall Wolves look much better. And on the counter-attack, much better as well, and that was shown in the goal. I thought Pedro Neto, excellent wing play again, good finish from Hwang. You know the story. It's kind of pretty much like we've got a Raul and a Dharma combination back, just in a newer form, which is good to see those two doing really well. Very disappointing defensive switch off for the goal though. Early after the goal that we scored, always say that the most dangerous time is after you've scored a goal. Defence just completely switched off. Good ball to the back post. And again, I think Kilman maybe could have done a bit better, but I won't judge him too harshly because I thought he was excellent in this game, as he has been recently. Really disappointing to concede that. But overall, I thought the defence was really solid. Wing backs were good. I thought Doherty didn't quite have the same attacking impetus as Aït-Nouri, but defensively was sound. I think he was lucky, though, not to give away a penalty because that push on Watkins was a little bit suspect. But overall, solid game. I thought Kilman, I had harsh words for him at the start of the season, but he's been excellent since we've reverted back to the back three. Totti and Dawson also really good. Sarr good. A few hairy moments in the 12 minutes of added time, and disappointing for Lamina to get sent off. But look, I think a really good point against a really strong Villa team. That makes us, unbeaten in the last three. And we have a little bit of momentum and also a sign of progress under O'Neill, looking better, playing the ball out from the back, looking better in counter-attacking football, more incisive. We look like we know what we're doing more. So positive point. Again, on to the next one.
Well, I'm not really sure if that was a good result in the end or not. You'd have to say it is down to 10 men. Referee today, absolute disgrace. How he sent Lamina off. It's a second yellow card. He's basically pulled his shirt and he sent him off, which I just don't get. And there's no consistency at all. Other fouls he let people get away with without a booking. I just don't understand it at all. Very, very poor refereeing. I'm not even saying he was biased. He was just absolutely shocking for both teams. He lost the game at multiple points. Just really, really wasn't good enough. We've had him referee us before and he's never been any better. So how he continues to be a Premier League referee, I'll never know. But just really, really poor. Football-wise, we played okay. That formation's always going to be quite defensive for me. I don't think I'm sold on it. Obviously, it worked at City last week, and I think against those type of clubs, it works because they do leave themselves short at the back, and therefore you can counter and try and catch them on the break. Don't think it works against the not so top sides. I mean, obviously, we got a goal today on the break. Neto could and probably should have had another one. But we just don't create that many chances in that formation. But having said that, we do look a bit better defensively. For their goal, really poor. I don't see how you concede 30 seconds after scoring. That's really poor for me. That just shouldn't be happening. And we've got three centre-halves in the box. I'd have to see it again to see who was at fault. But you can't have three centre-halves and play in a back five and then have the man completely free when the ball comes across, just tuck it in the back of the net. Roda lucked massively in the last couple of minutes. Sarr with a decent save, couple of decent saves. One off the post, one went just wide. We easily could have lost that game at the end there. I didn't think we deserved to on the balance of play. I thought it was fairly even overall. But definitely could have lost it at the end there. But glad we didn't. The last chance that they had never should have happened. The referee put the whistle to his mouth, took it back out again, let him take it, to let him carry on playing, which I really don't get. But I say he was awful all day long. But at the end of the day, you'd have to say a point is not a bad result. On to Bournemouth away, we've got to get something there really. Obviously a win is what we're going for, especially them right at the bottom of the table. But we'll take the point and onwards and upwards.
So Wolves won, Aston Villa won at Molineux today. A decent result, I think, by all accounts for Wolves. Decent performance, defended well, and looked threatening on the break of the counter-attack. So I thought, all in all, decent point, decent performance by Wolves. Not a whole lot in the game, really. It was a bit niggly, stop-start. People going down, injuries, feigning them, whatever. Lots of stoppages. But, overall as a game, I think it was probably a fair result. The draw, but, slightly disappointed maybe not to win, as I thought Wolves were the better team at 1-1 up until the red card, which was then were pinned in afterwards. But, overall, a decent display, I think, by Wolves today. I'd have taken the point before, and that's what we've ended up with, ultimately. I liked that he stuck with the 5 back today, Gary O'Neill. Be interesting to see what he does at Bournemouth, because with respect to them, they're not as good as Aston Villa and Manchester City, so whether he thinks he can put Bellegarde back in and maybe attack them a bit more. But I think if it's not broken, don't fix it, as far as the 5 is concerned. Up until now, great goal by Wolves. Just a word on Pedro Neto. What a season he's having. It's 5, well, really 6 assists so far. and he's playing out of his skin. He ripped a £40 million centre-half to bits today for that goal, and Hwang, another word on him. Who'd have thought this time last year when he's been ridiculed and shoved out the door by most Wolves fans? Let's be real. I don't think anyone foresaw him becoming like a fan favourite, really. He's a top goal scorer. He's only one off what Wolves' top goal scorer was last season as well. 5 Premier League goals already. What's not to like between himself and Neto at the moment? They're both combining really, really well to accommodate each other, and long may that continue. As far as scoring goals is concerned, we scored in every match apart from the Man United match, which was still arguably our best performance, ironically, this season. But yeah, disappointing goal to concede. Second phase really at the back post, and the centre back Pau Torres just managing to divert it in. But after the red card, which I think was probably a red card, but still 2 yellows is like, it's debatable. He was stopping the counter attack. Wolves were hanging on for dear life. Watkins hitting the post, Sam making a save from Konsa, Zaniolo having a moment or two as well. But I thought overall, decent display by Wolves, especially defensively. I thought Dawson and Kilman were superb. Totti didn't give Diaby a kick. I don't know if he was still injured, but he was awful for Villa today. But yeah, I thought Sasa Kalajdzic did well when he came on. Actually played a great ball across the net, so we're unlucky not to score from that phase of play. I thought Boubacar Traoré was good as well, and I think he'll be a more than ample deputy for Lamina at Bournemouth when he has to play in 2 weeks' time after the international break. But 8 points from 8 for Wolves. Gary O'Neill certainly in the last 2 games has shown me that he's maybe a bit more than a PE teacher after what most Wolves fans were saying after Ipswich. I think he has adapted his style a bit, and he's managed to get a result and 4 points from City and Villa. There's a really good return, so yeah, 8 from 8. Must not lose at Bournemouth and just keep taking over for Wolves. I think that's all any fan really wants at the minute, and just demand 100 million for anyone that comes in for Pedro Neto in January. So, local derby, honours even. Wolves 1, Villa 1.